What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Best Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Russler. This week, I'm sitting down with my good buddy, Anthony Shafer. You can catch him on the road featuring for Josh Wolf. He's been opening up for Big J. He's kind of making his way all across the Midwest and Chicago, Nashville, Austin, doing all kinds of stuff. So make sure you go check him out, give him a follow. We sat down for almost 2 hours and had a good talk. I think you're going to enjoy the episode. So check it out. Quick, you want to plug your social media and any upcoming shows you got going on?
Social media is just Shafer_Anthony on Instagram and TikToks. It's SHAFER_Anthony. And then Anthony Shafer on Facebook. And then upcoming shows, shoot, I don't know. When's this coming out?
Not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after. So, right before Christmas, I guess?
Right before Christmas.
I didn't realize that. Okay, cool.
I don't know. I don't really have very many shows to plug. Possible feature weekend with Josh coming up. Other than that.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, Anthony regularly tours with Josh Wolf. And you're kind of making your way around all over the place, aren't you?
Yeah, last weekend we were in Kansas City. It was just me and Josh, two-man showing. That was pretty sick. And then 2 weekends before that, weekend before that, I was with Johnny Pemberton featuring here at Helium, St. Louis. And then 2 weekends before that, me and Josh were Omaha, Nebraska.
How was that? How were those shows?
I didn't realize there's not anything in Nebraska.
Oh yeah, dude, it's the worst. Oh, you think Nebraska's bad? Wait till you see Kansas. Kansas is even worse than Nebraska.
Kansas, but so especially for those that don't know, big Waffle House guy. You also like Waffle House.
I will go to a Waffle House. I won't.
Not a single Waffle House in Nebraska, which is that's peak market for them. You would think that they would have multiple.
Yeah, do you remember that video I sent you where that guy was like, look, we got a Waffle House next to a Waffle House next to a Waffle House. Yeah. There was just four or five of them in a row. Yeah.
Dude, Georgia is nuts. So that's the origination of Waffle Houses down in Georgia.
So did you starve while you were in Nebraska?
No.
What did you eat?
I just ate at the club. The Funny Bone there.
Anthony, 90%, and tell me if I'm wrong, 90% of your diet comes from Waffle House, correct?
That's a lot. I eat Waffle House a lot, but I just eat garbage food a lot.
Okay, well, if we were to break it down, how many meals per week are Waffle House?
So it's usually after shows, especially after open mics.
Mm-hmm.
Because we both know that's it's basically just hell.
There's nothing.
We're just bombing and just fucking dying out there. So then on my way home, I pass by a Waffle House every night. So every night I just go to the Waffle House. They know me by name. And actually, I plugged that. I'm going to be doing a show, a stand-up comedy show. And it's not set in stone yet, but the manager's we would love to do that. So I'm going to do a stand-up comedy show in a Waffle House, I think.
God. That could... I can see the idea, and I do think it would be funny to just do an ambush comedy show in a Waffle House. But I also see this going horribly wrong because you're gonna deal with Waffle House customers.
No. So the thing is they were we want you to do it. They were how late can you do it? And I was I'm down for whatever. But they were do a ticketed event. So we'll have we'll cook, we'll have the staff here, but and I was set up microphone, PA in a corner, and then they have like chairs and shit, and then also have people in booths. So this is an idea that I had to just have a stand, like a don't tell-esque, you know?
I'm just saying you're trying to bring comedy shows into a place that regularly has fights when people aren't talking into a microphone. So now we're going to add to that.
It's going to go good.
Yeah, because you're going to have a bunch of like 20-year-old kids who are talking shit about politics or whatever, and somebody's not going to like it. And I'm going to have you back in 6 months, and you're going to be like, wow, I didn't think 7 people would get shot. I just thought...
It was funny, too, because they were like, well, if we close, technically you guys could bring alcohol. And I was like, I don't know if we need that on top of it.
Well, if it's a closed private event, then yeah, that's one thing. But if it's...
No, it's not going to be... They were like, we'll close the Waffle House.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then if Waffle House is going to close for the event, then okay. Then it's kind of cool, weird.
Yeah, they were like sell tickets.
I like that. But I thought you were just saying like, hey, you know how some bars have like just a piano player in the corner? You were just going to have comedy in the corner while people are drunk and eating eggs at 2 a.m. And I'm like, you're going to get stabbed. You're going to try to do crowd work and somebody's just going to be like, nah, I don't like that. Like, that's exactly. Let me just put it to you this way. In the last, okay, today's Friday, so it's been 8 days. In the last 8 days of doing comedy in St. Louis, there's a guy who's pulled out a gun and waved it around and threatened everybody. There's been a guy who's pulled out a knife and waved it around and threatened everybody. And there's been a man who's threatened to run us all over with his car in the last 8 days alone.
But yeah, it's St. Louis, dude.
Yeah, so you can see my hesitation to go into a Waffle House. I'm going to get a chair thrown at me. I'm good, man.
Yeah, by the worker.
I'm good, yeah. And by the way, it's not like it's just me. It's not like all these people are threatening me. If it was just me, I'd be like, maybe I need to make a change. Yeah. But it has been people standing up and being like, all of you are going to get shot. All of you are going to get stabbed. I'm going to run you all over with my car. And you're like, okay, cool. Yeah.
Dude, that's
just trying to make you laugh.
That's wild. So that was, I know the one.
Well, I don't want to give out.
No, not to out them, but like what days of the week? Because I'll know where.
Okay, so
I know Tuesday.
One was last Thursday, so a week ago yesterday. One was last Thursday at a late night mic. Then there was one last Tuesday at a late night mic, and then there was one last Wednesday at a late night mic. So last night I had a show which was fantastic. Shout out Smokes and Jokes. Shout out Jeanette Wright. She runs the whole thing. Just Black. I know you know. I love you. Thank you so much for having me, dude. It was so much fun. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
You gotta start signing up for some of those because they're looking for people. Like last night was it was an open casting call. It was like an audition and then they're trying to do some things, and they just kind of wanted to see like, okay, let me see your, are you funny? Like, let me see. And then if they like you, they may use you in future projects. It was pretty cool. But, yeah, you got to start doing it. It was maybe 250, 300 people all in a room. It was fun. Every comic got 3 minutes, so it kept it moving.
Oh, that's pretty quick. I mean?
Yeah. It wasn't like everybody's doing 15. Yeah. Like
that'd be miserable.
It was boom, boom, boom. And the crowd loved it, and they had food and drinks and all kinds of snacks and stuff. Yeah, it does that. It's going to do that. It doesn't change on the camera, but it...
I was like, it's dark now, but...
See the little green light next to your head? That's a sensor. If you press that...
Whoa!
Yeah. But see, it doesn't change anything for anybody but us.
Really?
Yeah. But because of the light. That's why I went out and bought all these lights.
Nice. But yeah, I would have been, I actually planned on going to that show, but then, like, as you know, you came to Helium afterwards because opening for Big J this weekend, which he's a phenomenal dude. And, dude, that show was pretty wild. Like, you talk about people getting, like,
I
threatened.
can imagine they'll all be pretty legit.
You thought about people getting threatened. Nobody got threatened, but there was a dude who was avidly trying to sell me and Big J, everybody on the show, Max Price as well. Like, he's just like, yeah, I sell Coke. Well, he's like, my girlfriend does. And he, like, kept saying it. And it's like,
oh, yeah, dude, that happens.
And it's like, you're just outing this lady now.
There have been times where I've opened for comics that are like squeaky clean guys, like everybody, like it's like a family show kind of thing, and there'll be people afterwards, and they're like, "Hey, you guys like to party?" Like we're like, "No."
This is during the show.
Oh, yeah,
no, this
that's
is
a little different.
During the show, we're like, "What the fuck?" Dude? He had gold teeth, and obviously,
shout out.
Obviously, Big J, crowd work guy, immediately notices guy gold teeth, and he goes, "What's with the gold teeth?" He's like, "Well, I got all my teeth knocked out, so these are temporary." And he's like, "So those are temporary fake teeth?" He's like, "They didn't have teeth color? Like, you had to get gold?" Because they were like, it was all gold. Mm-hmm. And the guy was like, "No, I just thought it would look cool." And he's like, "No, dude, you look like a crazy person."
Yeah, that is pretty crazy. So I've started doing a new thing where I read the comments that people have been leaving on the videos, and I try to come up with the best comment of the week at the end. So I'm going to read through a couple of them. You know what's funny is that a lot of people will see a clip and it takes them to the video, and they start watching the video and they start talking shit, and then later they kept watching the video and then they leave like a positive comment. So like
you get them back.
Well, yeah, because like they started watching and they're like, "This is dumb, this is stupid," and then later on, like 45 minutes later, they will leave another comment, you know? So I took a picture of this. I screenshotted it because I get a notification when people comment, and I don't read all of them, but some of them. We were talking. I was an episode with Joe Tillman. We were talking about on-screen deaths, but originally when we sat down, I was telling him like, "Yeah, I'm getting rid of the furniture. I'm going to try some things up or whatever." And at ZIS8772 on YouTube said, "Bro, I'm actually crying at this furniture breakdown. Literally zero effort into trying to make an entertaining episode. Ha 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 ha. I'm going to have to hire a U-Haul. Legit has me rolling." And then a whole bunch of words I don't want to say. But, yeah, so at ZIS talking shit. Then 45 minutes later, he comments, because we were talking about best, like, medieval torture method you could survive. And I told a story about a guy who said, like, he was getting roasted alive, and he was like, "Flip me over, this side's done." And then the same guy goes, quote, "Flip me over, this side's done. Ha ha ha. God tier comment. Love it." And so it's like, okay, man, you came here to talk shit, but I'm glad that you're enjoying it now. I don't know. I thought that was weird.
Yeah, it is funny how people, like, change up. It's like, and I don't know, like, in doing comedy, you kind of get that too, to where, like, there's somebody in the crowd that doesn't laugh at anything you've said so far, and then you'll say one thing, and they'll be like, "All right, you're not that bad," you know?
Yeah. It's
like the same thing. You just get to see it on the internet unfold in the comments, which I think the comments are wild.
Yeah, I had somebody after a comedy show one time I was featuring, and I was talking to the host after the show, and this guy came up out of the audience, and he looked at the host, and he was like, "I was here a couple months ago, and you were here? Not very good." He's like, "But you're definitely better than you were. Keep it up, buddy," and walked away. And we were both just like, that's not a positive, we were both just like, "What? Who do you think you are? Why would you say that? Why not just be like..."
See, honestly, I would take that pretty good. I would think that I would be like, "Oh."
I mean, yeah, you can find the positive in it, but at the same time, it's still like, "Hey, you sucked before, and now you're just bad." You know, like, "Hey, you're moving up though, so keep at it."
I mean, I feel like that's where we are personally. Like, I've never personally thought that I was all like super great, But it's kind of nice to sometimes be like, all right, that didn't suck that bad. Like,
Well, I also think that's because you're a comic, and comics are always like, I suck, I'm the worst, I'm terrible, I'm a hack, I could never do this, I could never do that, and they always like talk themselves down or whatever, or at least
well, that's how it is for me.
lot of comics, not all comics, I should say. All right, this next comment is on YouTube again. It's from @BobbyCone2. We were talking about what makes a bad person, right? And we were leaving your like shopping cart out in the middle of the parking lot, and he was like, "Okay, I've had a cart roll down a parking lot in TBR wind. I don't know what that is. Do you know what? I don't know." He's like, I've had a cart roll down a parking lot in TBR wind and slam into my car, making a huge dent. I absolutely can't stand people who don't put their carts back. Sebastian from Cart Narcs is the best guy ever. So I don't know who Cart Narcs is.
Dude, you never seen Cart Narcs?
No, what is that?
It's just a guy who goes through parking lots, and when people leave their cart out, he throws a magnet on the back of their car, and I think it says something funny along the lines of like, I'm a piece of shit.
Oh my gosh, this is my David Goggins, man. He's my new hero. Like,
and then the people get out of the car and they just start chasing him down. They're like, man, fuck you. And then they like take the magnet off the car and they throw it on the ground. He picks it up, throws it back on. And he's like, you're putting a lot of effort in this. If you would have just put this into the cart, you wouldn't have had this problem.
I love that idea. I love that idea because it drives me absolutely insane. The other one I hate is people who can't park in the lines. Like you see someone who's
because I'm just quick.
Fix it. You got time. Fix it. I don't care how late you are. It takes 15 seconds to fix a parking job. That extra 15 seconds isn't going to make you later, all right? Like, no, if you're 10 minutes late to work, nobody's going to be like, you're 10 minutes and 15 seconds late to work. Fix your parking job. Don't be that person. It drives me insane. I was talking about this the other night with somebody that I feel like if you are, say you're parked illegally, like you're double parked or whatever, if someone comes up and slashes your tires and then you call the cops and you're like, someone slashed my tires, they should show up and give you a ticket for parking bad on top of the slashed tires. Because it'd be like, hey, we're going to look into who slashed your tires, but also here's a ticket because you parked like an idiot.
I don't think you can get a ticket for parking bad.
Not anymore. If it's out on public roads, you get a parking ticket. Or in a lot that has like private security and it's a pay by the hour, whatever, they will come around and give you a ticket. But if you're parking like in a mall parking lot or like a movie theater parking lot, a lot of times that's private property. And it's up to the movie theater to determine whether or not they want to do anything about it, which most of the time they don't. You can get towed if you're...
Yeah, you can get towed if you're parked like in the way of something.
But they don't care if you know, which drives me absolutely insane because it just means there's no consequences to anything. And it just... And then all of us have decided, like, hey, we're going to do this right. We're not going to screw over the next person. And then people like you come along and you're like, nah, I'm late. Look how fast I did it. And I just want you to know the rest of the world hates you. Like, we're all...
I don't do it that often.
You're up there with the CEO of United.
But I'm saying, well, yeah. Dude, I should probably be murdered. I should be shot outside of a hotel.
No one said that.
I don't get too wild. Like, my tire will be on the line or something. I'm not, like, crooked as shit.
Okay.
Now, like, I've had it to where a dude is totally, like, almost perpendicular to lines. And if he parks like that, then I just match his energy. I park right next to him because usually a guy is trying to take up two spots because he's got a fancy car or something. Mm-hmm. So then I'll just park right next to him as if I were to door ding him anyway because that's what they're trying to avoid a lot of times. And I love it.
I had when I first started doing comedy, I had someone back into my car, and I was like watching it happen, and then they sped off because they were like trying to fit into a spot that didn't fit, like their car wouldn't fit, but they were like, "Nah, I can do it." And then they like hit my car, and then drove off, and then but they like circled the block and parked on the other side of the street.
Did you walk over there?
I might have after they went inside.
After they went inside?
Yeah. After
You fucking give them a donkey kick to the door?
No.
I've done that before. I'm not even gonna lie.
No,
Dude.
I would never, ever do property damage.
I would, dude.
And talk about it on a podcast.
I mean, I was a child.
Yeah, well, we'll talk afterwards. You know what I mean? There's always there's one or two things that just make for a real inconvenient day, you know? Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, we're like, fuck, dude. We destroy things.
Okay, this is this. We got one more here from YouTube. We were talking about. It was Joe Tillman and I. We were talking about
Joey D.
playing video games with your kids, and he said he didn't like playing with his dad because his dad never let him win, and he wants to be the kind of dad that's like gonna let his son win at the end of the thing, and at Caden Redner, man, I am terrible at reading. At Caden Redner 4243, he was probably hoping his son would strive to win, but instead he gave up. Be better, make your son be a winner. And while I don't appreciate the tone, Caden, I do kind of agree. I do not let my kids win at anything. I am the reigning champion, the pretty princess reigning champion in my household. I am ridiculously good at that game, and it's pretty much a game of chance, but I am better than everyone in my family at it. And but also Mario Kart, yeah. Like, I'll hold the door open for you and stuff, but like chivalry dies at Mario Kart.
Yeah, dude, fuck them kids.
Yeah, I will blue shell the hell out of you, dude.
Dude, that's like I got a nephew. I don't have any kids. But he definitely...
Same concept.
Dude, he definitely...
Welcome to the world.
He definitely gets fucked up. Whenever we're doing anything that involves me versus him, it doesn't even matter. It could be if my brother likes us the most that day, I will try it my best. Dude, who ate who ate more pumpkin pie during Thanksgiving? It was fucking me.
Yeah, it was. Guess what? We're going to play a game called I Win. Yeah. And you know how you play?
You lose.
I win. Yeah.
Oh, you got a bike for your birthday? That's convenient because I got a stick for the spokes, dude. Fuck that kid. No, I'm just kidding, dude. Wyatt. No, I will make him crash his bicycle any day of the week. He got a helmet for Christmas, dude. So anyway, enough about child abuse. What, you got another question, or what are we doing?
Yeah, I was just scrolling through, making sure I got all the comments that I wanted to talk about. I've done 3 podcasts pretty quick back to back. So,
do you have a favorite comment that you've ever gotten?
Yeah.
Even on like a stand-up clip, favorite comment you've ever gotten? Do you remember it?
Yeah. Well, the first comment I ever got was just a guy, just some Indian dude. He just said obese. That was it. I was like, that is. But it did make me laugh. It made me laugh really hard.
Do you think that's your favorite one, though?
Probably, because I was so excited to finally have someone listening to this that that feeling, like I didn't check it for hours and hours because I was just like, it just made me feel good. I was like, somebody is talking to me. And
like you seen the comment pop up and you're like, ooh.
No, I just got a notification and it was like user 22871 whatever has commented on your video, but it didn't tell me what the comment said. And I was like, oh, okay. And I just kind of, for a couple hours, I left it alone. I just kind of rode the high. And then I read it and it was just obese, period. And it made me laugh because I was so excited for it. And then it was mean, but also, okay.
See, my favorite one.
I don't hate it. It's not, he's not.
My favorite one was, it was actually, she hosted the show I was featuring for Mark Brady in Indianapolis at Helium, and she commented, or she might have just posted on there, and it was just, Anthony Shafer is the iPad kid saying out-of-pocket silly, goofy things, and I was like, dude, this is the best comment I've ever gotten about my stand-up comedy, I think, in my life.
The iPad kid, what, out of pocket?
Yeah, so I got it screenshotted. It says, Anthony Shafer is the iPad kid saying out-of-pocket, goofy things, which is all I want comedy to be. I'm not big into, like, I hate, like, the political stuff.
Yeah.
And, like, topical, like, things that are going on. You know what I mean? Like, even at open mics, you'll have your buddies, they'll run by, they're like, dude, I wrote this joke about the United Healthcare killer. I'm like, dude, I could care less. I'm going to go up and tell this joke about me not wiping my ass. I don't
know. I agree. You should always be writing. So, like, when a current event comes up and you want to write about it, that's cool because, maybe a small piece of that can continue. But current events used to have a shelf life of like 6 months. Now they have a shelf life of about, 10 days, week and a half, maybe.
If that.
And then something new happens and people are like, well, yeah, I kind of remember that. Like, there's so many things that it's like, okay, it's a good thing to write about, but just realize you're not going to be able to add this to a set. You're not going to be able to add this and make it into an hour because it's going to be gone. It's going to be dead 7-8 days from now. You know what I mean? There's such a short shelf life on current events. And politics, I agree with you. I can't stand.
Oh, yeah.
I can't stand it when, especially because here's the thing. Like, if your name's not on the poster, no one's coming to see you. So no one cares about your opinions on anything. Like especially political. People don't want to be told how to vote by people they do like. So now they have to come and see some jerk kid who thinks he's funny and he makes fun of your entire way of life. Nobody wants that, And it doesn't matter in the long run. You know what I mean?
No, I think we need to just go back to just being silly, dude.
Well, there are comics that are great at talking about politics, Like there are people that make that their entire careers, but that's not how they started. They started by writing good jokes and getting fans and gaining popularity, and then their fans, then they were like, hey, by the way, this is what I think. These are my politics. And their fans were like, cool, we're with you. Nobody is with you right now. Like when you're going to an open mic, you're there. It's just whoever's there is there. And I don't know. It just drives me nuts because half the time people don't even know what they're talking about. And they're just like, they're just like, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, okay, is your point right now to be funny? Or is your point right now to tell others how to think? Because if your point is to convince other people to change the way they're thinking, that's not what we're doing here. This isn't a TED Talk. This is a comedy show. Yeah. Your job is to make them laugh. Say something you don't believe in hopes that they make them laugh, and that is better than what you're doing now.
Yeah, they should go start a podcast.
Well, I mean, maybe they should, and maybe they will. And if they do, more power to them. And when that's the point of your show, then that's what you do. But you have to ask yourself, is the point of my show to get people to vote how I want them to vote? Or is the point of my show to make people laugh? And the point of my shows and the point of me booking you to do my shows is because I want you to make people laugh. I don't give a shit about your politics. I don't either side. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to deal with it. That's not why we're here. Make them laugh. If you can make them laugh and make a good point, then go for it. But I bet you can't because a lot of people don't know who you are and they don't care about your opinion.
Yeah, dude, politics stinks.
Steps down from soapbox. Yeah, man. That absolutely drives me insane. Are you a Gatorade or a Powerade guy?
I'll do both, but I've always been a Gatorade guy.
Yeah. I feel like most people are. I don't know. Blue Powerade, it's pretty good, but I don't know.
It's good out of the fountain. Blue Powerade is fountain soda. Or, it's like a fountain drink.
It is.
To whereas Gatorade, you rip that out of a nipple bottle.
There's no comparison. Blue Gatorade out of a bottle versus blue Powerade out of a bottle. Blue Gatorade wins 10 out of 10 times. Fountain blue Powerade versus bottled blue Gatorade. I mean, that's a game changer.
Yeah. The only, Gatorade out of the bottle is way better than any Powerade in a bottle ever.
Well, yeah.
The only thing that's comparable is the blue Powerade out of the fountain. But, dude, there's no shot I'd ever go into a place and buy a bottle of Powerade, ever. But I will never buy fountain Gatorade because it always sucks. I've never had a good fountain Gatorade. I think Quick Trip.
I don't even know if I've ever had fountain Gatorade.
It's usually fruit punch, so that fucking stinks.
No.
So then you're
I'm
like,
out.
why do we even have it?
That's a good call. That's right, because now that I think about it, I have seen fountain fruit punch Gatorade and immediately went, ugh, no. Fruit punch is by far the worst flavor of Gatorade. I think it might be the worst flavor of drink ever.
Yeah, but so that's what Powerade did right. So Powerade was like, we're not the best, but we'll put our best in the fountains because the people want it.
That's what
Gatorade was like, we're crushing it. We're just gonna put fruit punch in there, and it stinks, dude. There's no way. Now if they put the grape in the fountain,
or
dude, I think
Glacier Freeze.
They put that in the fountain. I mean, we're done.
Cool Blue, man.
Oop.
Game time.
That's telling me to wake up. It's 5:30 p.m. Wake up. I take a nap right now.
I'm surprised you're. What's that song? What I don't know music like you do, but what's that song? Is it Chop Suey? Where he's like, "Wake up."
Oh, System of a Down. Shout out System of a Down. They're going back on tour.
That 100% feels like something that you would actually wake up to.
Yeah, dude. Why do they always send the poor? I don't get it.
What?
That's part of the song. Why do
why
do they always send the poor? System of a Down, dude. They're back on tour.
Shout out Down Systems.
No, they're.
Oh no, sorry,
no,
that's not it. Okay,
no.
I'm sorry.
They're gonna be in Chicago.
All right. What is the best TV hospital? So, if you woke up tomorrow and you were in a hospital bed, and then you found out that it was from a famous TV show, which one would you rather? And I understand you probably haven't seen a lot of these, but I just Googled TV hospital. Would you want to be on a General Hospital soap opera type set? Would you want?
I mean, they're fucking then, right?
Well, yeah, that and Grey's Anatomy and
Grey's Anatomy. Yeah, they're fucking. What's the guy's name? Mr. Dreamy or the fucking McDreamy?
Yeah, there was a bunch of them. There was a McDreamy, a McSteamy, and I think there was even another one.
I would be McSteamy for sure. Probably that one because the blonde.
No, you don't get to be the doctor. You have to be a patient of these doctors. You don't get Oh, I would like to wake up and be McSteamy. Okay, yeah, no shit. I want to be Superman, but that's not how it happens. Okay, you have to be a patient in one of these hospitals, and then all of these doctors are trying to save your life. That's why there's really only one answer.
Well, if they're trying to save my life, it's whichever one's supernatural. In House, some kind of fucking...
House is a genius. Yeah, he figures out only the rarest of rare cases. He only does... He sees I think they said in one episode, they're you see 20 patients a year. You only do the top of the top.
What am I in the hospital for, though? Do you know?
There's just all kinds of different crazy... wild diseases, and then he always has this aha moment. It's a spin-off of Sherlock Holmes. So yeah, because
just that level of autism. He's like,
no, literally, instead of Sherlock, it's instead of Holmes, it's House. His best friend is not Wilson, it's not Watson, it's Wilson. It's there's a shitload of comparisons. He's addicted to painkillers. Sherlock Holmes was addicted to opium. There are detectives that figure out clues no one else saw. Right. So,
nice.
Yeah, I would want him as my... but really it comes down to, I want to be in Scrubs. Scrubs would be a good time. There'd be some silly goofiness happening in the halls, but you also have like a pretty good chance of making it, unless it's a serious episode.
I was gonna say, because Grey's Anatomy, a lot of people die.
Yeah.
That's the worst one.
This is one of the things that I get very upset about is that Grey's Anatomy, the patients have like an unusually high morbidity rate. Like the doctors are all in the hallway making out while their patients are coding in the next room. It is absolutely insane. And then the doctors talk to the patients about their personal lives. They talk to them.
Yeah,
they're like,
I just got fingered in the hallway. And the guy's like, I'm having a heart attack.
I can't feel my arm. And they're like, yeah, but he won't call me. And the guy's like bleeding from the eyes. He's like, oh, that sounds like it's terrible. Yeah, you're a young girl. You'll rebound. And it's
you're gonna bounce back, but I'm not.
Yeah, me. Yeah.
And then they go back to fucking in the broom closet.
It's so stupid. It's the absolute worst show. I don't understand how it has like 20 seasons. It's insane.
And they have hot, dude.
They have the craziest things happen it's in Seattle, but it's like the craziest things. Like there have been like apocalyptic level earthquakes. There have been bridges collapsed. There have been like giant apartment fires. There have been plane crashes. There
Nazis.
have been terrorist attacks. There have been mass shooters. There have been so many wild things that happen. And then like somehow the doctors are like center stage of it's just it's just mindless dribble. And I can't stand it. But yeah, I would want to be on Scrubs or ER. I think that's what I would come down to.
I don't know if I've really watched Scrubs. I've never watched ER. I've watched House a little bit.
Scrubs was great, man. When it was on, it was great. Like that first, they did like a couple spinoffs, which
that's
I
the
didn't
guy.
care for.
The guy's the main character, dark hair guy.
Yeah, Zach Braff.
He's like a comic guy.
I mean, kinda. I
think he was a comedian.
Was he? I just thought he was an actor. I don't know.
What's the one with the wicked, smart, autistic kid? You know what I'm talking about? It's like young.
Is he from Boston?
No, I just thought that would be cool. No. It's a kid, and he's like severely autistic. He's like, he's gonna die if you don't do this.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta
know what you're
puncture his trachea like this, or else he's gonna
die. I am a surgeon. Yeah.
That's me if I were ever a doctor. I can do this. I'm gonna be all right.
You're like, I couldn't do it. I could see that.
He was bound to die. There was nothing I could do.
Actually, you know what? I don't know if you ever watched Third Watch.
No.
But that was like a cop paramedic fireman show back in like the early 2000s. That was good. I remember that being like a fantastic show.
That made me think of Last Watch. Have you ever watched that?
No.
It's a final shift. It is a police officer, and it's her final.
Last Watch?
I think that's Last Watch, or is it Final Watch? End of Watch.
End of Watch was
no,
Jake Gyllenhaal and Michael Pena and.
I think it's called
Last Watch. I'll have to check it out.
But it's like a horror movie, and it's crazy because it like plays into the. I almost said Charlie Sheen murders, but that wasn't it. The Charles Manson murders, to where like they're like in a cult, and they come through and do this fucking crazy ritual shit.
Wow.
And then, yeah, you like horror movies?
I mean, I'll watch it.
I'm big into it.
So it was really weird. Like when I was growing up, I wasn't allowed to watch like any horror movies at all. And then I saw one scary movie when I was like 13, and it legitimately like scared me. And then I didn't watch any again for like 10 years almost. And then I started watching them again, and I was like, oh, they're not scary.
Well, yeah, once you're older, they're not scary.
Yeah, once you're an adult, like I aged out of them. So like I never watched them. Watched one, was terrified, and then never watched another one. And by the time now, I'm kind of getting caught up on some of them. Like I really like. Well, go ahead. No, what were you gonna say? What was?
Oh, dude, like so I watched a bunch. So I find that funny when people are like, I was never allowed to watch this when I was a kid. I was allowed to watch whatever I wanted, pretty much. And I remember watching.
It doesn't show at all.
No,
Go
obviously
ahead.
not. Dude, I remember like, my mom was real into horror movies when I was a kid. She's also, like, she had, like, me and my brother pretty young. So she was kind of just figuring it out, too. But she was, like, into horror movies. And I remember watching, like, the movie 13 Ghosts. I was, like, 6. Have you ever seen that?
I've heard people say that it's really good. I've never seen it.
It's really good. But there's, like, it's, like, crazy visuals because there's, like, this thing it's called a jackal. They got like a fucking box around its head. It's all like crazy. There's also titties too in this movie, and I remember it was so weird to watch movies and there'd be titties, and then like I'm with my parents.
I got those on accident because like we were allowed to watch comedy movies, depending on what it was, and like. You know what's weird is that my family wouldn't let us watch, like if we watched a James Bond movie, we'd have to cover our eyes during the sex scene. But then my family let me watch Saving Private Ryan when I was like 8 years old, and a guy just gets like stabbed through the chest like with a knife in like slow motion, and he's like pleading with the guy like listen to me, please, 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 like that, and he's just getting stabbed. And then my parents were like, "Whoa, they're kissing," and we were all like.
Dude,
I think about that sometimes, and I'm like, that might be why.
Dude, I think that explains a lot, right? So, like, you went into the Marines, you watched Saving Private Ryan, you got to see that gruesome stuff. My family didn't watch that. Dude, we watched, like, American Pie together.
Oh, and that's why you're not allowed at bakeries. That makes sense.
Yeah, because I fuck pies.
That was the joke. Yep.
Are you still doing that thing where you don't want cussing on here?
No, I just don't. I don't do it. You can do whatever you want. So, like, when I invite somebody to come do the podcast, like, I want, be you. Be as comfortable as you want to be. I don't...
Guys, I don't fuck pies, for the record.
Much. No, I don't want someone to try to be a version that I want them to be. Like, just be you.
You did want
But I'm not going to talk bad about religion. I'm not going to talk politics. And I'm... gonna try not to cuss because I do want to try to stop cussing because I have kids and sometimes I'm up here with comics, and then you just say whatever you want, then you go home and somebody cuts you off in traffic and you're like, this mother, like that, and my kids are like, no, Dad.
Do you think your kids cuss?
I'm sure my daughter does. She's in high school. I'm sure she probably...
I bet your son
when
does.
she's not around, I bet she's like, man, this...
Do you remember when you were a kid and you first like heard other kids cussing?
My son, I don't believe he does, because
sweet boy, huh?
Because he is a sweet boy. He was earlier this year. He was at recess, and somehow, some way, I don't know what happened, but he gave the kid the finger. I guess they were like all doing it to each other, and they all got in trouble, obviously, and then. The teacher called us and was like, yeah, Grayson got caught. He was giving people the finger or whatever. We found out later it's like everybody was doing it. It wasn't like just him in the corner. Like
he's just like,
so like one kid started it, and then I guess they all repeated it because they thought it was funny or something like that.
Yeah, the teacher's like, we're doing cursive today, and he's like,
yeah. And then we asked him, we were like, you know what that means, right? And he was like, no. And we told him, and he was like, just tears, and just was like heartbroken, and he thought he was a bad kid, and like he was like really upset. So I don't think that he does it.
How did you explain it to him?
We just told him what it
like the words.
We were just like, that means
F you, right?
The F word, like, yeah. And he was like, no, like, because But anyway,
yeah, he probably don't cuss. He's probably
not yet. He will. I mean, that's what happens. Like all kids go to. I'm sure that when my daughter is not around us, she probably listens to music we wouldn't approve of, or, she's probably a little bit different than she is around us. But I know she's a good kid, so I know like fundamentally she's probably not changing. But yeah, does she say like ass and bitch and stuff like that probably, maybe. I don't know.
Bitches.
Which. The thing is, my wife and I are guilty of it, Like, my wife is probably the most religious Catholic woman I have ever met in my entire life. But there are times where I've heard her drop something and then go, shit, like she doesn't scream it, but she might shit like that.
Well, the Lord hears it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but
Well, he knows.
yeah.
Just so she knows, he knows.
Oh, she knows. He knows. She, bro. If she was here, she would. She would. This podcast would take a turn.
She drops something. She says shit. She's in the corner, just like 5 Hail Marys. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
She will do it.
Really?
Yeah, she will do it.
I went to Catholic grade school, like very briefly, and I got kicked out.
Cool.
I don't remember necessarily what for though, but I'm sure it was fun.
I went to a Christian elementary school, and I don't think I got kicked out, but I also think that I definitely probably wasn't asked back for 6th grade.
He's good.
So the whole story behind it was the first time I had ever cussed out loud in front of like adults. We didn't have a Halloween party. We had a harvest party where everybody had to dress up like different like things of produce that you would harvest, right? And I was supposed to dress up as a carrot, and I was like, okay, so I'm super tall. I'm gonna wear orange sweatpants, an orange sweatshirt, and then like a green like sock cap or hood, like thing like that. And I walked in to class that day, and my teacher was like, "Oh, what a nice pumpkin," and I was like, "Fuck!" Yeah,
they're like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, and she was like, "What?" And I was like, "I'm a carrot."
That does suck.
Yeah,
that sucks because then they're like,
yeah. Because you're like, oh, I'm pumpkin shaped, not carrot shaped. Awesome.
That stinks.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's on them.
That was a rough day. That's on her, 100%. And I think when I even told my parents about it, I think they were even like, oh, because they're like, yeah, I feel that.
That reminds me, in middle school, there was a Halloween dance, and I'm not going to say any names, but I remember, and I was a dickhead back then. Like not that I'm not now. But I was an ass, and there was this lady, and I went to like elementary school with her and all that, and it was a Halloween dance, and she was dressed in all orange, and I just said, "What are you supposed to be, the Great Pumpkin from Charlie Brown?" Immediately slapped the dog shit out of me, and I was like, "Yeah, I deserve that. That's my bad."
Yep.
I said, "That's my bad." And then I was like, I'm gonna go. I just left. Me and my buddies were like, "Oh, we're out of here."
Oh,
dude, she put force behind it too. And I remember I was like, immediately after, I'm like, all right, that was an inside thought. Shouldn't have said that. That was a bad idea. And then, I don't know. I think that lady still hates me. Probably she should, rightfully so.
I mean, that's a rough one, man. You went hard in the paint on that.
Yeah, seventh grade dance, Halloween dance.
Oh, I was gonna ask you this. I didn't make a slide for it, but I saw something the other day that there was a comedian, Ralph Barbosa, was talking about the cars that he put.
Yeah,
like he built a garage to get all the cars. So I was gonna say, like, if you were to make it big, you're making, $1 million a year doing comedy. What are the best cars you're putting in your garage? If you get 3.
Oh, see, I would go old. Like, I'm really into old cars. So
that's fine. Go with what
even currently.
What is your best?
Yeah, and that's like Ralph. Dude, Ralph is a huge inspiration to me. Just like not even in comedy, just like his mindset. Because he used to shout out Ralph Barbosa. He's got a special on Netflix called Cowabunga, which is a sick name for a special. It's just called Cowabunga.
Yeah, shout out Ralph. We know you're watching.
Ralph, what up, dog? I've worked with Ken Flores one time. They're homies. Anyway,
I thought you were just saying another Hispanic name. I was like, that's racist.
No.
Yeah. I've heard of Cesar Chavez, Ralph. So
No, Ken Flores. He did St. Charles Funny Bone. Nathan hosted for them, but
I was there. I went to one of the shows.
Yeah, Ken was great.
We made steaks after.
Yeah, that was a steak night. But anyway, so Ralph, his big thing is he wanted like 2 Nissan GTRs. He wanted like a 70 something, and then the one that if you're familiar with Fast and the Furious movies, Fast and the Furious, I think it's the second one. It might be Too Fast, Too Furious.
What?
And there's a Nissan GTR in there. It's like it's 2000s, I think. and he wanted one of those. But those are crazy because they're right-hand drive. So, like, and they're all manuals. So you have to shift with your left hand, and that would just throw me off. But so my thing is, you asked the question, what cars would I get if I were doing the same kind of thing as him, or had money, rather. They would just all be old cars. I really want like a 1970 Dodge Charger and a Challenger. So I'd want those two. And the Charger, everybody would like, that's also from Fast and Furious, but like, that's not why I want it. I just think they're cool because they're like super like futuristic looking. Like it's shaped like a Coke bottle.
I remember what they look like. Yeah.
It's also the kind of car that the General Lee is from Dukes of Hazzard. So.
Would you paint it orange?
No, dude, that's. I don't know if you've noticed. I'm not real big into colorful things.
Yeah, all your cars would be black, wouldn't they?
I do. So
just jet black, matte black.
Yeah, and I have a race car right now. It's a 1970 Dodge Dart because I have a bunch of cars. I think I have like 9 or 10 right now, and they're all real. Like they're from the 80s and back pretty much. I have the car that I drive, which that's like a 2014. That's the newest thing that I own. But I've got a bunch. I've got 2 old like Dodge Darts, and then I've got a bunch of old trucks, an old Mustang that I drive around. But yeah, most of them are black. I have an old Bronco. It's like an 89. It's black. My one Dodge Dart, it's black. We got a lot of black cars.
We got a lot of black in here. That's cool.
Shit.
For a long time, I was under that impression, but now I've switched to blue. I really like the way a blue car looks.
Blue is nice.
My entire family has blue cars.
Really?
I have a blue car. My wife has a blue car. My daughter has a blue car. They're all different shades, but they're all blue.
Blue nonetheless. I have a blue. I have an 84 C10. It's a standard cab, short bed, square body pickup truck. It's blue.
I don't know what it is about a blue car. I just love the way they look. I don't know why. I can't stand white cars or orange cars or like I always like when I see someone. My mom recently got a car and it's brown and I was like, why would you?
Well, she's old, you know.
Yeah, well, brown's her favorite color. She loves tan, brown. She just that whole like spectrum of the color wheel. That is her path in life. And she just lives there, and it's like my sister always used to make fun of her because she'd come over like the walls in her house were brown and stuff, and she's like, "Mom, I hate it here. I feel like I'm in a paper bag." Like, and it's just like that's my mom's thing. She loves brown. But I'm blue through and through.
Is your house blue?
No.
See, my house is kind of miserable.
There's walls like in the inside. There's
Well, I'm saying like
kind of
inside.
like I thought you meant like did we paint the outside blue? No.
No, that would be wild.
Yeah, no. My wife would not.
My house is actually, and I didn't pick the color. Like I bought the house and it was all remodeled. My whole house, like the outside, is just bright red. Like it's like vinyl siding, so it's like really bright all the time. Like, it looks like something you'd see in, like, a Hallmark Christmas movie, which kind of sucks. And then it's just me living there alone.
See, I've never seen you in anything besides all black. Like, black hoodie, black jeans. It could be 97 degrees outside, and Anthony will be in a black hoodie and black jeans and a black hat and black everything. And then the fact that you live in, like, a Hallmark Christmas. I just like to think, like, when you go home, you're like, ah. And, like, all the black stuff comes off, and then, like, the festive Christmas one. You turn into Mr. Rogers as soon as you walk in the door. It's like you're, like, trying to go, like, undercover as, like, this angsty young adult. But, like, deep down, you're like, well, I own a Christmas tree farm, and I make my own cider.
I live next to a Christmas tree farm.
Yeah, yeah, of course you do.
I live next to a Christmas tree farm.
I love that you are the Grinch to your neighbor's Whoville. Like they have this festive Christmas tree farm where people are just patrolling and looking at all the pretty trees or whatever, and you're just on the other side of the lot with all these old rusted out cars parked in the grass or whatever.
Just me yelling at my dogs like, fucking get in the house.
Eating microwave leftover Waffle House.
Yeah, I'm eating the chicken, the chicken tendies I got from the club the night before. I'm like, fucking get in the house. house, dog.
Yeah. I love how the other night you were at Helium and they gave you some food. And you were sitting there and you opened it up and you looked at me and Jack and you go, only the fries. Only the fries.
Yeah,
and then
dude.
you offered it.
Because I know immediately people
don't touch my chicken tendies. Yeah. So we were like, okay.
Dude, that's the worst. People you guys can have some fries.
And then they just take it all.
Yeah, like the one time I ordered a pizza at the one open mic, Stan's, the one that Jack runs. Shout out Jack Wright. Shout out Stan's. That's a fun mic. They have good pool there. Anyway, you could buy pizzas there, and I ordered a pizza, and then they're like, "Oh, you're up." I'm like, "All right." So my pizza's sitting there. I get I'm doing my set, watching people eat my pizza, and I'm like, "What the hell, guy?" Like,
yeah,
I just bought that.
Well, the problem is that you get one comic, like you order a pizza, you set it down, you go do your set. There'll be a comic in the back of the room that will take a slice and then look at other people and be like, hey, do you want some? And everybody's like, oh, Andreas is giving out free pizza. And so you go over and you're like, cool. And everybody takes a slice. And then you come back and you're like, where's my pizza? And Andreas is like, I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
You know,
you're like, what the fuck?
Not that it's always him.
He's stealing.
It's him.
He's
All right,
stealing.
it's him. I don't know. I've done a couple of these. Okay, do you have a best on-screen death?
What do you mean by best? Like I was happy about it?
That's your.
Bummed?
Here's the thing. It's open to your interpretation.
Best.
When I say best on-screen death, does it make you sad? Does it make you happy? Was it one that made you laugh out loud? Was it? You know, like what is the one that comes to mind?
We all wish it was Stuart Little, but I don't. Dude, fuck that rat.
What is with this? You're like the third person I've heard that talks about why they hate Stuart Little.
Why does he get to drive a boat?
I don't know. You can drive a boat, man.
It's not that hard. I own a boat, but like he gets a little one, and then he gets to be in the boat race, the RC boat race. Why is the rat in the RC boat race? That's not fair.
I mean,
they should have been disqualified. Anyway, fuck Stuart Little. Probably Mufasa. That was a good one. I was stoked for that one.
You were stoked for Mufasa to die?
Or no, Scar. I was bummed for Mufasa, but then Scar died.
I was like, oh my gosh, you are the darkest man alive.
No. Yeah, my
I just
bad.
imagine like you in a movie theater with like 80 other kids. Mufasa dies, everyone's crying, and you're like, yeah!
Yes! No, dude. Actually, probably best death like that, Bambi's mom, probably.
What is wrong with
like, because I get that sucks. That does stink.
Well, yeah, but it's the whole plot of the movie.
That's his arc, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because without that,
it's like Batman's parents.
Yeah,
like, you don't want it to happen, but it kind of has to.
Yeah, because that would be a boring story. It'd be like, oh well, he's got his parents and he's rich.
Can I just tell you that like I've always kind of thought of superhero origin stories, Batman's parents. Not that bad. Like okay, yes. Watching your parents get murdered would be horrific. But I don't think that I would convert my entire life to becoming the world's greatest martial arts detective, ninja. Yeah. I would just be like, man, that sucks.
You're also, he's rich, right?
Yeah, like uber rich.
Like when his parents died, they left him a bunch of money or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would just be like, that stinks. I'll donate to a charity probably.
Oof, man, that sucks. All right. Anyway, yeah, that's what I don't know. I just never thought like Superman's whole planet blew up. You know what I mean?
See, and like that sucks.
And
but
he
also,
didn't take like the dark vengeance route. He just kind of took like the.
But that's even like Spider-Man. His parents died, and then he watched Uncle Ben die.
Yeah, I would say that Spider-Man deserves to be darker than Batman.
Correct.
Because Spider-Man has lost more people.
Yeah, and he watched Uncle Ben die.
And he's poor.
Yeah, he's poor. Uncle Ben dies. And he doesn't even have powers yet. And then he gets bit by a freaking spider?
No, he does have powers when Uncle Ben dies.
No, I thought that's why he couldn't save him.
Well, actually, no. He gets his powers, and then he goes and does wrestling.
Oh,
and while he's wrestling, Uncle Ben gets shot. All right.
Because Uncle Ben brought him his uniform to wrestle.
No, you're supposed to pick him up from the library or whatever. That's all.
Because he was lying.
Or it depends. Like that's also
Tobey
just
Maguire.
in the movie.
Tobey Maguire
But
wins.
in the other movies, Spider-Man like fails to stop someone robbing like a convenience store or like a little bodega, and he's like, "Nah, I don't want to. I don't. It's not my problem, you know." And then that guy goes and kills his uncle, and then he's like, "Oh, because I didn't stop him, it's my fault." So
That's the saddest. That's the saddest origin story for sure.
100. So Spider-Man deserves to be 100% darker than Batman.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Batman should.
Miles Morales. There's a joke, guys. It's fine. You're like, son of a bitch. I've never even watched that, but that's like the whole Spider-Verse thing.
Yeah.
Did you watch that?
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
What do you mean?
Like is it the same origin stories? Does he have an Uncle Ben? But his name isn't even the same. It's Miles Morales.
No, he has a different origin story.
What is his? Do you know? Do they not tell you?
What? No, they do. I don't remember. Well, he has like a. I don't know. I never read the Spider-Man comics too much, so most of what I get is from movies. But I think what had happened was, he got bit, and then he becomes Spider-Man because, like, the other Spider-Man is still there, like, still exists.
It's a different universe, right?
No, like, there's still, like, I believe in the original, like, in those movies, yes, he was, but in, I don't know, I think in the comic books, he also gets bit by a spider, and he also, like, finds the other Spider-Man, and that Spider-Man teaches him how to be Spider-Man.
That's when they do the...
And then I think that they all, I think later people in his family start dying, but I don't think it counts as an origin story.
I don't know why everybody has to die in Spider-Man's the saddest superheroes because they all, like, they're just, their family's just dying. And then he loses Mary Jane, and then his best friend becomes Green Goblin after the, you know what I mean? The whole thing sucks.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, Batman, you're like, this guy's a fucking
I mean, he does have the coolest powers, though.
You think that's the coolest powers?
I would argue that's the coolest powers. I mean, swinging from buildings, webbing people up, like, spider sense where, like, things are in slow motion. You have the best reactions. You can jump high. You can run. You're super strong. He's kind of got
you give me
pretty good, pretty sick.
Dude, I think I would want to be Superman because, shoot, just give me a couple weeks. I'll web some people up.
All right.
It's a cum joke, guys.
It was.
All right.
We caught it. What's the best type of donut?
Ooh, dude, I've been doing way to fucking transition from cum joke to this. Cream cheese filled eclair, or not cream cheese, but what is it? Custard filled eclair, vanilla icing. Don't like chocolate.
Yeah, I'm not a big chocolate icing.
Chocolate
guy.
icing sucks.
Yeah,
I'm also not, if it's not that, I would almost rather have a cake donut.
Yeah, I like. My wife likes the maple long johns, the maple flavored ones. They're like
those aren't bad. Yeah.
Those are her favorites. My son likes these twisty ones right here.
Those are pretty good too.
But I think he just kind of likes it.
It's just basically a glazed donut, so you get more donut.
And then I can't remember if it's my daughter or my mom. They love these
the crunchy ones,
old fashioned ones that are like split open.
I don't like
a
that.
little bit, which they're good. But my all time favorite, which I didn't discover I liked until probably like 4 or 5 years ago, Bear Claws. Not Bear Claws, my bad. Apple fritters.
Apple fritters are nice.
Apple fritters are absolutely fantastic, man. I love an apple fritter.
I think my favorite is hot out of the donut rack, blueberry cake donut.
Nah, I've never been a blueberry fan.
Blueberries are good, dude. Also,
I know blueberries are good, but
only thing in the universe known to reverse Alzheimer's. Eat blueberries before you start doing eat blueberries.
I want to believe you, but your mispronunciation of that word made me instantly skeptical.
Alzheimer's?
Alzheimer's.
Yeah, it's the same thing. No. It's
you just think it's Alzheimer's? You just think that you die from being one of the greats? It's like, yeah, that's what killed my grandmother. She forgot how awesome she was. It's not Alzheimer's. It's Alzheimer's.
No, that's why you can't remember, because it's all time. What are you talking
When do you
about?
eat blueberries? All the time. That's why you get Alzheimer's, all right?
Yeah, like when's the last thing you can remember? You're like, I don't know, all the time.
All the time.
All the time, dude.
Yeah, no. That's
No, blueberries for real. They help cognitive dissidence or something.
Yeah, I have heard that now that you say it. But, like, I'm just saying I don't like blueberry donuts, blueberry muffins, blueberry pancakes. I've never cared for those.
They're so good, dude.
I will eat just straight blueberries. Those are fine. But I'm saying blueberries in stuff. Like, even, remember the mini muffins?
Those are good.
Those little packs? I
Little
hated
Deborah's? Shit.
I hated it when you would, like, you'd get a pack and you're like, oh, yeah. And you bite into it and you're like, oh, it's the blueberry kind. Damn.
I mean, I would prefer the chocolate ones probably on those, but the blueberry ones are
chocolate
good.
chips are pretty good, I guess.
No, double chocolate. So chocolate.
No. I hate
I don't
double
want the yellow
chocolate
one.
anything. I hate double chocolate anything. I cannot stand double chocolate chip cookies or no, it's too much. It's too much. There's nothing wrong with just a good old fashioned sugar cookie with chocolate chips in it.
I don't mind that. But I'm
Yeah.
saying mini muffins, dude, double chocolate mini muffins are nice. I'm a Blue Bee guy, though. I like, shout out Waffle House. You go there, get a Blue Bee waffle on that All-Star special, dog.
Do you ever do different pancakes?
I'll do Blue Bee. I'll do a Blue Bee
Dude,
pancake.
Blue Bee pancakes are not even close.
I don't like the chocolate chips.
No, I don't either. I'm a straight nanner pancake kind of man.
Never had one.
You've never had a nanner pancake? Oh,
No, dude.
They're so good. They're so
I feel like
much
Cracker
better.
Barrel would have one of those. I bet they do.
I mean, yeah, Cracker Barrel has a lot of breakfast food. I don't know.
I mean,
I'm not
would.
well versed in Cracker Barrel's menu magic, but I will, on occasion, go there.
So everybody thinks that I'm into Waffle House because I'm like a piece of shit, which is part of the truth. But it's also I'm just a big breakfast food guy. So like I love Cracker Barrel. I'll rip Cracker Barrel right now. Cracker Barrel's nice.
I just realized you might be covering your face with your feet on the camera.
That camera?
Yeah.
No, I got fucking periscope lens right now.
Yeah, you're going right down the barrel.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, just making sure. Anyway, no,
You can see me, right?
If you were between like waffles, pancakes, and French toast, which one of those is the best?
French toast. It's French toast all the time.
Yes. Yeah, I will give you that. Okay.
But so French toast,
but how are you doing your French toast? Are you just doing it like
you don't put anything because you can't put anything in the toast.
Right,
I mean, you
right.
can. Like there is that
if it's
French
like
toast.
that brioche, stupid thick.
No.
one?
I want Texas toast, French toast, and you could put like Blue Bees on top, even some whipped cream, powdered sugar, all kinds. Dude, fucking lay it on there. Make it an Alaskan French toast. Have you ever had one of those? It's got ice cream on it.
No, see, that's too much. It's too much. America
dessert.
needs speed limits for menus. Okay, it needs to. Look. This is coming from me. I'm not a skinny fella. All right, I'm a bigger boy. I like the foods, but sometimes it's too much. Sometimes you have to say, "Hey, you know what? No, IHOP.
Just say no.
You can't put a cheesecake inside of a waffle. Like that's not okay. Like yeah." I don't know. When we were kids, the first time I heard about deep fried Oreos, my dad was like, that's it. This is the end. This is the end. It's all going to go downhill from here.
Dude.
And I was like, that's crazy to be that upset about a deep fried Oreo. Now I can't even. I saw a deep fried pickle one time, and I was like, I want to set something on fire.
Deep fried pickle?
Yeah.
Dude, people do that all the time.
I know, and it's disgusting, and
I don't like
needs
pickles.
to be stopped.
Pickles are gross in general.
So murder happens all the time too, but we shouldn't allow it to continue.
Unless it's a CEO of United Healthcare.
Oh my gosh, you can't say that. You can't say that.
Eric Russler's opinion.
It's not. You can't say that. You can't.
No. So anyway,
Look, I don't.
you're looking at the camera. You're like, guys, fucking for real.
Yeah.
No, back to deep fried Oreos. Shout out Kansas City Funny Bone. Jake, the manager's badass there. They have deep fried Oreos at the Funny Bone, dude. They're so good. Deep fried Oreos. Could you imagine ripping 4 or 5 deep fried Oreos and then going up and doing a set?
No.
Going up and doing a set?
Never. I would never in my life.
Oh, it's so good.
I would never in my life.
Just scarfing deep fried Oreos. And
No.
like, oh shit! I gotta go do jokes.
No. See, I hate eating before I go on stage.
Generally, I do too.
I hate it. I would, and I wouldn't eat that after I came off stage, though.
Oh, I did.
I know.
I had a brownie, some chicken strips. They ordered steaks.
Again, I'm a big guy. And so if I saw a basket of like deep fried things, I'd be like, what are these? And I would take a bite. But as soon as I saw Oreo inside, I would probably just put it down and then ask God for forgiveness because it's just too much.
He knows. He created it.
He did not create that. Don't you dare, sir. That is not of the Lord.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Dude, he was wherever he was, and he was like, you know what they need? Some deep fried Oreos.
No, that is the opposite of what this world needs.
He's like, you know, we need more people in heaven. We better bring them up. Let's give them heart disease. There we go.
Yeah, maybe numbers were dwindling, so he was
like,
hey.
ooh, a lot of people going to hell. We better just get them quick with heart disease.
Yep, let's
Car
go.
accidents aren't working.
Hey, refined sugar, send it in. No, I can't believe you're a deep fried Oreo guy. That's so weird.
My family, they own a grilled cheese stand that they go to like farmers markets and like pumpkin patches and stuff with. They own a grilled cheese stand, and then my cousin and her boyfriend or whatever, they do deep fried stuff.
Why don't you, dude? Why are you not doing videos? You would be so good as like the one like goth emo kid in the Hallmark town. So like everybody's out at pumpkin patches and corn mazes, and you're in the corner. You're like, I hate everybody, and like they're all listening to Christmas music and being festive, and you're in the back like peeing on the tree or something. Like you're in your room listening to Avenged.
No, I don't like them. They stink.
All right, sorry.
Although they are...
Sorry, I picked the wrong arbitrary band.
They are, unfortunately, playing with System of a Down in Chicago next year, which stinks.
And you like Down Systems. So then...
Yeah.
So they can't be that bad, right? If they're co-oping a concert? I don't know what you call it.
Co-headlining.
Oh, okay.
But, dude, they got Deftones in Canada. In corn. They got corn in New York. You like corn?
Nope.
I mean, I know you like eating corn, but...
I don't...
You eat corn?
No. I mean, yeah.
Dude, deep fried corn, what do you think? Bandana's fried corn, so good.
I don't think I've ever had it.
It'll fucking knock your socks off, dude.
Yeah. That doesn't offend me. Deep fried corn, for whatever reason, does not offend
me
in the same way.
There's less nutritional value in corn than there is in Oreo.
I don't believe that.
There's no nutritional value in corn. You can't digest it.
I know you can't digest it, but that doesn't mean it's not beneficial.
How is it beneficial?
Because, all right, you know how like when like you've got a clogged drain or something?
So you think that's the Roto-Rooter?
Yeah,
is the corn?
That's the like grit to like
it's
like,
just
ground it up, and it like helps move things along. That's the Drano. That's God's Drano. A little bit of corn, man. You have that. Tell me this. Next time you're stopped up, go eat some corn. Go eat a pile of corn, fresh off the cob. Tell me if it doesn't help move things along.
You made corn when you made steaks that one night. That was nice. Well, and then everybody gave me shit because I cut the corn off the cob. Nathan was like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Well, yeah, that's also Nathan.
He's like, "That boy ain't right. What the hell are you doing?"
Boy ain't right. He ate corn with a fork. What the hell?
Yeah, because I was like cutting it off. He's like, "What the hell are you doing?"
We'll do a couple more and get out of here. But what?
God damn, is this an open mic? You hear that 4 billion times.
That's what's on the comedy bingo card. I'll do one more and get out of here.
That's miserable. That's my least favorite thing. And I don't get me wrong, I've done it. I've done it.
So here's the whole idea behind the comedy bingo is we're rearranging it to where now comics will find out what their bad habits are. So like if you're doing something and it causes like we're going to have bad habits on the bingo card that'll get checked off, but everyone in the audience is going to have like normal bingo cards. It'll say B9, I7 in, whatever, just a normal ass bingo card. either myself or Rick will have something. He'll be like the showrunner, game runner, where after each comic, the host goes back up on stage and they're like, all right, what did he talk about? He talked about going to college. He talked about hating his job. Talked about this.
Beating
Did you
his
catch
girlfriend.
anything? And then the guy will be like, and then the game runner will be like, yeah, I noticed he fidgeted back and forth. I noticed he said, but 6 times. He said, I'll do one more and get out of here, like bad habits. And then we go to the master key and we say, okay, that one is B17, I-25, blah, blah, blah. And you read off what they did. And then the people in the bar get to be like, ooh, yeah, I got that one. Oh, okay, yeah, I got that one. And eventually they'll get to learn, like, you'll have other comics in the room that'll be like, also, he said, blah, 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 and they'd be like, ooh, yeah, that's a good one. And so it becomes interactive and it makes people want to stick around. And you learn.
Is that what you did this week? I didn't go this week.
No, we didn't do it this week. We're working on it.
That seems like a lot more work, though.
It's a lot more work for Rick and I, but it's not for the audience or the comics.
Well, for the audience, they got to pay more attention, though.
The audience has to pay. Well, not really, because they only
not to the sets, but they're only going to pay attention to the bingo thing.
Yeah, but I think they'll pay attention to the sets too, because when they see that, like, what did he talk about? Oh, he talked about this, and be like, okay, we gotta.
Are you going to have it on the screen or like a screen? I guess?
was thinking about having like a master key up on the screen, of like what could be
what
said. What
not to do. Is the manager mentioning you in the pre-show meeting? Is that going to be on there? Because I think I'm the only one who's got that so far.
No, you missed it. Last week there was a.
Did somebody top me?
No, it was a guy. It was an audience member topped it. It was. But whatever. We'll talk about it afterwards.
Well, that audience member that I had an interaction with.
No, this was so bad. Like, I don't even want to talk about it.
Well, that other guy. Well, so I was just gonna say, because the audience member that I had an interaction with, he was chill, but the manager was like, "Let's not do that again." But afterwards, I did apologize. I was like, "My bad, dude. You were the only one in here. I was just talking to you. We were good.
Yeah,
we kissed after. I jerked him off in the parking lot."
Well, that's lovely. What's the best way to tell if somebody's a bad person?
Not jerking him off in the parking lot, I guess. Obviously, you did the shopping cart thing already.
Well, that's just my answer. Between shopping carts and parking in between the lines is like, those are two super simple things that you can do.
The best way, I think that's the easiest way. I think the best way is, like, once you actually know people is, and I know this is going to sound lame, is like not building up others. You know what I mean? You like not recognizing others, even if they aren't necessarily doing what you would do, that they're also trying. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's because I don't know. It's a two-way street. It's a two-way street I see on that, because if you've got, like you and I, we're both in comedy, right?
See, not for me. I am a proponent for everyone, I think, in my opinion. But I do get how some people might not see it that way.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what specifics you're talking about. I just feel like we're like, okay, so let's just take St. Louis comedy and we'll use two random people, whatever. If a person is absolutely dedicated to doing this and to getting better, it only makes sense that we come and help them out, because they help, if there's more great people here,
absolutely,
that means that makes the whole thing better. It makes shows better. It makes open mics better. Makes better crowds. Makes more people coming out. More tickets being sold. Like, we all kind of lift each other up. But there is times where you kind of have to take a second and you're like, hey, before I pour all my time and energy into helping you, are you going to be for real about this, or are you a hobbyist? Because the comedy is one of those things where people will be like, hey, I'm bored. I'm going to go to an open mic. And then
Oh yeah, absolutely.
they do one mic a week. And it's like, okay, man, just go join a bowling league because you're not going to get better and you're not helping and you want to show up, you want to drink water and not, contribute to the bar staff or whatever, which is the only reason we're getting allowed to do this. And then you don't want to buy tickets and you don't want to, help people write bits or whatever. Like you're just kind of, you're filling, you're filling a space. And then, so it's like, I don't feel like it's our job to help people that are just kind of part-timers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's fair.
And so sometimes it takes a while. Sometimes you have to see someone for like a year and a half before you're like, all right, this guy seems pretty dedicated, pretty into it.
Yeah.
And there's also, there's not really any, like, as far as like in St. Louis, I don't feel like there's all that many gatekeepers. Like everybody talks about, they're like, oh, so-and-so's a gatekeeper, so-and-so, whatever. And it's like, that's not true. They just have, like, you just have to show up. And a lot of people don't show up, and then they're like, well, they never booked me for this. And it's like, yeah, they also don't know you. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not going to the clubs, you're not going to get booked at the clubs because they don't think about you.
I mean, there is definitely people that get booked at the clubs that are hobbyists, though.
I mean...
there
again, without specific details, like I don't know. I feel like for the most part, they work through a list of working comics. They work through the list of people that are like trying and like, do you run a mic or do you go to, 7 to 10 mics a week? Are you contributing? Are you helping? Are you writing? Are you trying to get better? Are you showing up and just like wrecking the show? Like there are some comics I know who I would consider not hobbyists, but I know that there are times where they aren't trying. They show up to a mic and then they just sabotage it because they think it's funny to go up and bomb as hard as possible and piss the crowd off, and then they get to leave, but the rest of us have to stay there. And that to me, when I see that makes me go, oh, I don't want to help you. Because you're not taking this seriously enough. You're not trying to make it a good show. Like we've all done shows with 4 people in the crowd, and it's not as much fun. But you know what's really not fun? When someone goes up and just shits on everything, and then like, all right, and then they leave, and it's like, okay, well, we all have to stay here in the fallout of that. At least go up and try. At least go up and do your best. Because that's what this is. It's not, I'm sorry, it's not all going to be theaters and arenas and stadiums and stuff like that. Sometimes you're going to have to do a bar show on a Wednesday night in front of 2 people who don't want you to be talking to them, but you have to talk to them for the next 4 minutes or whatever. So try to make it fun, because who knows? You might find something that works,
Yeah. I'm right there with you on that. I feel like that's a tangent on what I was talking about. I wasn't even necessarily talking about comedy-wise, but I was just saying I think more people should be helping other people out, like in the world, per se. Comedy-wise, for sure.
Well, yeah, I mean...
But I'm saying, like, that's how you could tell somebody's a bad person, back to the original question. There was a big tangent.
My bad.
Tangent.
I thought we were talking specific comedy talk. Well, yeah, I mean, yes. Could people help out more people? Yeah, they could.
Big tangent.
Go donate a couple of your cars to Goodwill.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, see? I mean...
They don't want them. They don't run, dude. But, no, I was more along the line saying, and comedy falls in this too, is just, like, people not being kind or, like, you know what I mean? Like, ripping jokes on people. Like, and I get this is all comedy. Especially this, obviously, like this is in the St. Louis comedy scene. It is all, we're all doing jokes, blah, blah, blah. But I think the easiest way for me to tell that somebody's like a bad person is, and not like they're a goddamn serial killer or something, but like, you know what I mean? Just not having the thought to consider what else people are doing in their life, like what else is going on. To whereas, like, yeah, that dude might have went up and bombed, and like, I've done it in the past, and I've tried to quit doing it. Like, yeah, that dude might have went up and bombed, but rather than like rip on him, just be like, hey man, this is maybe what could help.
Yeah.
Rather than like, what a fucking idiot this guy is. He's, and
sometimes people, okay, there's two parts to that. Like, I mean, if it's your buddy and your buddy bombs, it's kind of fun to rip on him and be like, oh, that was rough, huh? Like that. And so, like, I get that. But also, at what point, everybody's a stranger until you start being friendly. So it's like, and nobody wants to hear that they bombed, but sometimes people bomb. And
oh yeah,
I mean,
and
I don't know.
No, I don't think you shouldn't acknowledge that they bombed, but a lot of times I guess I will say there are some delusional folks out there who think that they don't bomb, or that even if they did bomb, they're like, the audience is stupid or something. You know what I mean? And that's not the case generally. And dude, even if the audience is bad,
you say that.
Even if the audience is bad, there should at least you should at least be able to get one person to laugh. And that's like kind of my thing. Like a lot of people talk shit about me talking to audience members because a lot of people don't, I guess. But my thinking is it's kind of weird to acknowledge or not acknowledge that you are a person and you're on stage in front of these people.
All right. Do you want to hear? Okay. This is why. I know exactly what you're talking about. This is why people talk specifically to you about talking to the audience. Because, and we also agree, it's weird to not acknowledge things. It's weird to pretend like things aren't happening in the crowd. But the whole reason that we tell you not to do it is because that's what we were told. When we started comedy, we were told under no circumstances do you engage with the crowd because the people that book the clubs, the people that run shows, don't want to hear it. And people would do it. People would still be like, well, I'm going to do what I want to do. And then they would say something to the crowd and do a little crowd work. And maybe it goes well, maybe it doesn't. That's not important. Even when it went well, you'd get off stage and you'd be greeted by some particular individuals, and they would say, cut that shit out. That's not your job. Stop doing it. So when you've been told to stop doing it, it's because that's what we were told.
Absolutely.
So it's like, yes, I agree with you. You should be doing crowd work. You should work on crowd work. People should be able to, because how else are you going to get better?
Which I also use it to write bits a lot of times, which a lot of people don't think of it that way. And the way that I look at it as, I'm going to lead into a joke. It's going to be material, but like obviously it's coming off as crowd work, but it's mainly just to kind of get the idea of people that are in the audience, because I might have a thought about what I'm about to say or what I've just said, but maybe that invokes a different train of thought in someone else that isn't me and who had my life experience. So that's generally what I just try to go for is let's make everything more relatable.
Well, my whole thing, it goes back to the politics thing, is that no one is there to see you. If your name and face are not on the poster, if your name is not on the ticket, if it is not the Anthony Shafer and Friends comedy tour, they're not here to hear what you're saying. You know what I mean? So it's like you don't want to, especially dirty crowd work. Super dirty crowd work annoys the absolute hell out of me. There's a difference between what do you do for work and then maybe trying to milk a bit out of it, or where did you two meet?
Absolutely.
But when you're
that's different.
When you're like, how do you guys have sex? It's like, and not that you do that, but it's also, it's like, okay, well, what if these two people are super offended by that? And they're like, hey, we didn't come to have our lives put on blast. And they get up and leave. Well, now you've lost the headliner an audience. And you've lost the club money from drink sales or food sales or whatever. So that's not...
I'm more so saying at like bar open mics, though, is when I do it. Now, don't get me wrong. I've seen that shit, too.
But the same thing applies, because if you say super dirty crowd. Like the whole point I'm trying to make is that there's a big difference between, like, when I'm on stage, I've asked questions before, like, hey, does anybody like true crime TV? You know, does anybody have a pet that follows them to the bathroom, or does anybody, you know, like, but it's not like, I'm not trying to be offensive. It's me trying to, like, okay, how am I working this out? And I would never do it on like a paid show. Maybe a paid bar show, maybe. But most of the time when you go to see me, I'm trying to iron it out and make it as tight as humanly possible. But it sucks because sometimes shit happens out in the room and you want to acknowledge it, and then you're like, oh, I've never practiced this before. I hope I'm quick enough to come up with something. Like last week, I was doing a show at Helium, and someone in the audience had their phone out and was watching like a movie. Like it was a packed, sold out show. Everything's going great. Everything's fun. And she's back there, and I was getting ready to say something, but then she held her phone up to her ear and started doing this. And I was like, oh,
you're good.
She might be special needs. Because I was like, are you watching a Hallmark movie? And then she started doing this, and then it got quiet, and I could hear like sports announcers. I was like, oh, are you watching the game? Okay, I actually approve of that. Okay, cool. Because then I was like, oh, she's mentally handicapped. I'm not going to make fun of the disabled person. And then I lost my track, and I was like, oh, where was I, guys? And this guy yelled out, you were talking about how hot your wife is. And then I was just like, Dad, we've told you this. You can't keep saying that out loud or whatever. And I got a pop, and then I continued on with the set. So sometimes you just need to do it. I understand that there's times and places. It's just if you're known for just, you're not going to, like, if people are like, hey, I can't, like, I'm just using your name for an example. Yeah. But if you get on stage and you're like, I can't tell you a single bit Anthony does because all it is crowd work and it's dirty. Well, then when it comes time to like book a show and they're like, hey, who's available Thursday night? It's like, well, I don't know if I want to book X because I don't know if he or she has any bits, because all I've ever heard was crowd work that sometimes goes okay and sometimes doesn't. I'm trying to put together the best show possible. The same way I look at some people and I'm like, hey, I would love to book this person, but I don't know if they're going to show up sober. I don't know if they're going to be on time. I don't know if they're going to just ghost me last minute and never talk to me again. Like, and if I don't feel like you're reliable or I feel like you're not going to put on a good show, I'm not going to book you. It's a whole, which again, like that all comes down to why I don't like to cuss on stage, because I get twice as many offers to come do shows because I'm relatively clean. And people are like, oh, I can hire him for a Christmas party. I can hire him for a bar mitzvah. I can hire him for, to do the showcase.
You wouldn't do that because they're Jewish, but. It's a joke, guys.
I know. I just wanted to sit in it. I just wanted you to feel it as we just sat there. It was kind of like, when you like have diarrhea and you just have to sit there for a minute. Like it was just
contemplate your life decisions.
Like squish. Yep.
If you had to name one of your children and it was something off the Taco Bell menu, what do you think it would be?
Oh, I mean, it would have to be. I don't know. I
also, not my question. This is a question a friend of mine asked me. So I was like, that's a pretty good question, honestly.
That is a.
Crunchwrap Supreme Ribs. That's a fun name.
No.
Because then the Supreme's in there?
No.
Are you more of a Nachos Bel Grande?
No, I would probably go Cheesy Gordita Crunch, maybe.
But why, though? Do you think that's like part of their personality?
No, because I could call them CGC. But what's up, CGC? Like that.
Ooh, that might win.
Yeah. I don't know. That would be my first. That's my. Although, there's nothing wrong with a good Doritos Locos, But
hey, Doritos Locos.
Yeah, this is Doritos Locos Rustler. I would be totally down with that.
Honestly, that's got a good ring to it.
I did.
This Doritos Locos Rustler.
Yeah.
Just made the football team.
Yeah. Well, spoiler alert for any in-laws watching. November of next year, look forward to Doritos Loco. No, I'm just kidding.
I was about to say, like, oh shit.
Yeah. Whoa. No, that would be terrible.
Yeah, and if my mom's watching this, I'm never going to have kids ever.
Ever. All right. Real quick, plug your. Damn, we didn't do any Christmas questions, did we?
Christmas. I mean, I live in a Hallmark house, so that's pretty fun.
No, that's true. All right, that counts as Christmas, right?
Well, I mean, what do you like?
I don't know. I was just thinking, like, what, best Christmas present you remember getting, or like, was there a best Christmas from your childhood that you were like, this one's awesome? Or did you have like a best Christmas tradition? You got one Christmas thing in there.
My family kind of fell apart, so there wasn't like a super fun lot.
Yeah,
of stuff.
I wasn't getting like a super sunny, happy childhood from you.
There was one year I got a miniature motorcycle. You know what I mean? Which was rad.
That tracks.
And then it got stolen.
Yeah, it also tracks.
And
How long did you have it before it got stolen?
Probably a year and a half.
Oh, that's a good amount.
Like, it was a good amount of time, but the issue is it was a kid I went to high school who stole it.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's usually
and I knew he had it, but I didn't want. He was like a couple years younger than me, and I didn't want to like fight him because I was like, he's a couple years younger than me. But I was like, he stole my fucking motorcycle.
I don't know. Were you over 18 when he stole it?
No, I was probably like 13.
Oh, okay. Well, then game on.
But he was a little guy, and I wasn't.
Like a dwarf little guy, or like a.
Well, no, he wasn't comically small.
Well, yeah, no, that's game on. Dude.
It's all right. He went to jail.
Well, see,
and him and his buddy.
But I would argue that he went to jail because it's your fault. If you would have stopped him, if you would have beat him up when he stole your dirt bike when he was 9 years old, he probably would have been like, hey, you know what? There are consequences for my actions. I should turn my life around. He could be a good Christian boy right now, but you were too selfish to beat up a child.
He's probably Christian, I imagine.
I don't know. The Nation of Islam is pretty strong inside prisons, so he might have gone the other way, which is there's no problem with that. Just so we're saying, I don't discriminate.
Yeah,
whatever.
Where do you stand on Hamas?
I like it with pita bread. Whoa!
Oh shit, he's a fucking comic, guys. I don't know, dude.
I don't know.
Christmas questions.
I don't get into geopolitical. I don't get into American politics, so I definitely don't get into geopolitical stuff because everybody's guilty. We're all guilty. Every time somebody's like, they stole our land, it's like, yeah, probably true. Yeah. You know what? And you know what happened before they did it? You stole it from someone else. And I'm not talking about Israel, Palestine. I'm talking about just like anywhere in the world. Like everybody's like, oh yeah, like, I don't know, America stole territory from Mexico. And before Mexico, Spain had it. And before Spain had it, the Incas had it, and the Mayans had it, and the
so you know
what I mean? So it's like,
why do you think that doesn't happen in Antarctica?
Because it's cold, dog. Like, what the hell is it?
Cold in Siberia and Alaska too.
Yeah, but there's nobody in Siberia and most parts of Alaska. Have you ever been to Alaska? They have the smallest population, and it's all around the coast because the entire, like, that entire giant state is mostly like
rip and
tundra.
cold.
Like it's not populated. Siberia is not populated. That's why they put their prisons there. That's why the Soviet Union was like, oh, we're going to stick all of our most dangerous people in just this hut in the middle of the tundra. They didn't even have fences up. They were like, there's no fences. Yeah, you want to run away? Go for it. Moscow's about 800 miles that way. Good luck. It's negative 36 degrees.
Would you rather be cold or hot?
That's a good question because, man, I've been really, really hot before, but I was, like, I would probably go hot because I would rather be, I've survived like 120 degree days and been like, this is miserable, but I'm going to get through it. But then I've had to be outside in negative 0 degree temperatures.
Yeah.
And been like, this is insane. And it like hours pass by like, days. It sucks.
See, I think surface level, like me and a lot of people go cold. Like, oh, I'd rather be cold. You can always warm up. But to whereas like if you're hot, you could just sit and do nothing and like it is miserable, but like you're not gonna die probably. To whereas if you sit and do nothing and it's cold, you're gonna die. You have to
Yeah,
be moving.
but also it zaps you. It's the cold zaps you just as much as the heat does. So you can easily. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I think heat is the best. Not the best, but I think it's most if you like life or death.
Well, I'm also thinking the like extreme ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm saying.
So if we're talking about if we had to go like in the middle, like, hey, would you rather live outside on a day where it's 20 degrees or a day where it's 95 degrees? So it's like not too hot and not too cold, but still on those spectrums where you'd feel it. I would go 95, 100%.
Yeah, because you get more done in the heat, I think.
Yeah, you get more done. In the cold, man, unless you're shoveling snow or whatever, it's like.
But then the issue with that is, because I watch a lot of hunting shows, and they'll like be hiking into places and they'll like start sweating.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you stop, you just get hypothermia because it just freezes.
Well, you actually the key is like you strip if you're moving a long distance and you're gonna that burns a lot of energy, it burns a lot of calories, you're gonna sweat. So they tell you to like strip down before you go to like bare minimum layers because your body, as long as you're moving, it will kind of circulate heat and you'll kind of keep going. But then once you stop, you need to immediately put layers back on because that's when it's going to drop your body temperature the most.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. I did a whole, we spent like 3 whole weeks in the mountains in like northern Japan, and it got down to like -10 or something like that. We had to live in like ice. We made igloos, but then we had to live in these like ice shelves, and then we had to do all kinds of stuff. And it was like,
do you guys eat Japanese food out there?
Well, there was no. I mean, we had MREs. There was no food.
What's a Japanese MRE like?
Well, it's just an American MRE. But I mean, there were Japanese soldiers with us, and they were crazy tough, dude. Because they had like nothing. Like Americans pack so much weight, and like we have all kinds of warming layers and like little mats to sleep on and like all kinds of stuff. The Japanese soldiers were just like, I got a backpack, but it's got like some bandages and like a coat in it. And then they would like sometimes just like squat down and they'd like fall asleep, like holding their knees or whatever. And like they didn't have anything. So like we felt terrible. So we were like handing them stuff like, hey, do you want this blanket? Hey, you want this extra like warming layer? Like, hey, I got some socks, whatever. And it's like, I think they do that not because they don't have it, but because they're trying to like be tough.
Yeah, toughen up a little bit.
It's like, okay.
I've never been to Japan. I bet it's a sick time though.
Japan's pretty sweet, man. It's pretty awesome.
I hear it's the bomb.
All right, everybody. Well, that's it for this week, and we will.
Oh, thanks for having me on, buddy.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you could do it, man. I didn't mean to keep you here so long. I feel bad.
Yeah, we got to roll. I gotta fucking get out. You're heading there too?
Yep, I'll be there in a little bit.
Nice.
Yep. So one more time for your social media and any upcoming shows you want people to know about.
Just Shafer_Anthony on Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff, and then Anthony Shafer on Facebook. And then upcoming shows. I'm doing this weekend, and then there's a weekend in January, maybe on the books, but I don't necessarily know the deets, so I can't really give it out too terribly yet. But if you follow me on social media, I post about everything every week, and then and I post dog pictures. So if you like dogs, I got dogs.
You like dags?
I got 3 dogs.
All right. Well, that's it. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you guys next week. Merry Christmas.